Now, one of the things you got to watch out for when you're out here and you burn wood is the poison ivy vines. You don't want to burn the poison ivy vines because even though it's dead, when it burns, the oils are emitted through the smoke and you can still end up in the hospital and dead. It could kill you. So you can have an allergic reaction to it and you don't want that to happen. So, all right, so what I'm doing is I got some sticks over here and I just took some of the bigger ones down here. The ground is wet and I don't want to get my tinder wet whenever I put my tinder down here by putting it out. So I don't want it to absorb any water or anything like that. So this is a fire lay. Basically, I'm putting these sticks down to be a barrier between the fire and the wet ground until the fire catches on. The fire's gonna dry it out. So I got a bunch of smalls right here I'm gonna use to start the fire. Now, let's go ahead and prep the bamboo for our friction fire. I stopped on the way in and I found a stand of bamboo and I picked a piece of bamboo. So what I'm gonna do is use the bamboo as fire starter. So what I'm looking for now is cypress bark. You see all the up there? Let's see if we can see this. Up there in that tree, that bark peels off every year. And what I'm looking for is some of that bark. That stuff is amazing fire tinder. Well, the problem with this is that this is pretty much drenched. It is a little damp. It might start. Cypress trees have some oils in the bark and kind of like pine. Now broken down into fine fibers, this stuff can be like cotton. A piece of bamboo that I found in a stand, it was kind of dry and dead and old. And we're going to cut this and see if we can use it to make a bamboo fire saw. Now, we're gonna cut it past this little knuckle here. This stuff's hard to cut with a saw. All right. Now, I'm going to take and split it in half. Well, before I do that, I need something. I gotta catch. I want to scrape the fire tinder off of here. This stuff comes with its own fire tinder in it, and it's amazing stuff. Now watch this. I'm going to use the back side of this glove to catch my tinder. That way it doesn't get wet. We're going to take the spine of our knife and we're going to shave it down. And what it's doing is it's catching all that tinder off of this bamboo, our ember. You can keep going, make fine tinder. The more you got, the better off you are. Now with the cypress bark, this is what we're going to put our ember into. And so what you have to do is just break this down, and you want it to be a lot of fiber. See how it's breaking apart? That's what we want, is those real fine, nice fibers. And you just break it down, work it in your hands, move it back and forth, and just tear it apart until it fluffs up, kind of like a cotton ball, and it will fluff up like a cotton ball. and it is extremely fine fibers. And that right there might even be enough to start a fire, but we're going to continue going. So now we're going to process the wood, the bamboo, and make the actual fire saw. All right, so I moved the glove, the whole operation over here, because we're going to end up having to use this tree as an anchor point. And boy, that wind's picking up. The weather's going to change. It's probably going to get cold. So we're going to need a saw, and you're going to need a knife. All right, so what we're going to do is split this in half, and you can probably do it with your hands. And there we go. Now we got 2 pieces of bamboo. Now this side, we're going to cut down like the thickness of your knife blade. And so here we go. And we'll save them shavings into our tinder bundle. Boy, that wind is really whipping. All right, so about the thickness of a knife blade. Get rid of this little part in the middle. All right, one more, a little bit shaving some more. Shave it down. Now with any friction fire, just like with any friction fire, this takes time, it takes patience and persistence. So, and it takes a lot of energy. So now that we got this shaved down, like a thickness of a knife blade on this side, we're going to work on the other end here. Now this one is going to be a little bit different because we got to put a hole in the middle, and then we got to put a little groove there with the saw. So this is going to ride back and forth on that part that we just did, and it's going to do kind of like a bow drill, build up dust, build up heat. We're going to drill a hole in the middle. It'd probably be best if I used an awl, but oh well. We're gonna get that hole through there. All right, now we got us a nice little hole through the center right here. Now we need to take a groove right here, and over this hole, you just want to make a groove. You don't want to cut through the bamboo. All right, now that should be good enough. We got a little groove right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold this. This is going to hurt. We're going to hold this up against this tree, and you're going to hold that tinder that we shaved off of here, and you're going to saw this back and forth just like so. Come on now. Once you smell burning, keep going, don't stop. Smell it. So the sides started disintegrating. This bamboo might be a little too small. Things do not always work out the way you want them to work out. And when they don't, you just keep trying. You don't give up, you don't get aggravated, you don't quit. It just makes you better, and it makes you better at what you do. And that's why whenever I do something and it don't work out the way I plan, there's always a workaround. There's always a way to fix something, you know. There's always a way. All right, we have a coal. Told you it takes practice. There we go. Friction firewood bamboo. Let's get it to the fire. Let's get some good stuff going here. Don't put out. He went out on me. Oh no. Like I said, it rained all night last night, and I guess the moral to the story is don't ever give up. Don't give up. Give up, you never know what you could have done. No matter how bad you got it, there's always somebody out there that's got it worse than you. I guess with all this smoke, we ain't got to worry about the skitter bugs tonight. Now, I got to find some firewood. All right, well, now we got to go fishing. I got to look under a log, find a worm or something. We got a lot to do, and maybe an hour to do it. Starting to get hungry, I ain't even caught no fish. All right, so I'll see you in just a minute. I'm gonna find some firewood.